Shalom, peace be unto you, for the kingdom of heaven has come near unto thee. I am your fellow servant, a disciple of Jesus Christ, a student, a servant, a slave, an adopted heir. I wanted to get on and share with you all that in the Enoch calendar, it's the week of unleavened bread. The Passover was already happened. The official Israeli calendar is after sundown tonight, 9 days away. So if I think I have that on the correct date. And the Torah calendar, I think, is not much different. So you have 9 days to get your house in order. You are commanded by the Lord in his Torah, his teaching, to clean the leaven, the yeast out of your house. So yeast, baking soda is considered leavening, and so products that have yeast or baking soda in it, you're going to look on the labels of everything in your cupboards and remove it from the house. Probably the day of Passover, you're going to do the last little cleaning and collect the dust and put it in a rag and burn it. You're supposed to burn the yeast. I've got bags and bags of stuff that have yeast in it, so I'd have a bonfire if I did burn all that stuff. But some of it I gave away. Some of it I removed from the house. Some of it is still in the hallway, in the stair hallway to go out. And then I went on Chabad and I sold the yeast. So what Chabad will do is you sign up for it, and just before Passover starts, they sell anything that you might inadvertently have in your possession. So if you find something in the week of unleavened bread, you don't touch it because it's been sold. It belongs to somebody else. And so then after Passover, they sell it. They sell it back. So then it's yours again to do with what you want. But that's one of the things that Chabad can help you with, is to sell all your products that you have yeast in, and maybe like your toaster and your vacuum cleaner, which you probably can't get all the breadcrumbs out of or whatever, so you're going to want to remove them from the house. If not, just sell them and then buy them back. It's kind of convenient to do that. But officially, then you don't own it. It's not in your possession. So Passover is coming. It looks very high watch time. I want to encourage you all not to be like of any doubting situation going on inside yourself. You just have to realize that the signs of the times tell us that the high possibility that the Lord is coming this Passover, or some people say just before, and or during the week of, and the high possibility second Passover. The conditions why a second Passover was kept can be considered, and so first Passover, maybe that was kept when the Lord he was here with us 2,000 years ago. Maybe second Passover is for a picture for the rapture, but 30 days after the first Passover is the second Passover. So we have Passover, unleavened bread for 7 days, and first fruits. And 50 days after first Passover, you have Shavuot, Pentecost. And 30 days after first Passover, you have the second Passover opportunity. So we have a lot of dates, but they're not that far off. The 2 weeks until less than 2 weeks until Passover. So, and I also want to ask for prayers. I haven't heard back from my doctor in Louisiana, and I've just been requesting refills on some of my medicine, and he knows that I have some medicine, so that if I didn't get any refills, I could get by for a very short while. But I was hoping to have a supply in case something happened on a major worldwide scale, and maybe that kind of shocked him. But I still need refills because even though I'm not completely out, let's say I was out, I would still need the refills. And so I need 4 medicines refilled. They're very critical ones too. So all 7 of them that he's been providing blessedly, miraculously for me, had given me the best year of my life this past year in many years because I had enough medicine and I didn't have to skimp on it. I used it at a little higher rates that I hadn't had the opportunity to try at before, and I found that it works very good at that. But since I'm probably cut off from getting these medicines anymore, I'm very worried because not too many months down the road, I'm going to be in a dire situation. So I'd ask everybody to pray for my doctor that he would not quit on me. He's would continue to provide me the medicines until I get a doctor up here in the area. So, uh, so anyway, I'm so excited. I'm thinking like could be 9 days from now, and we're going to be changed. So there won't be any need for any more medicine if this is the situation coming not too far down the road. So um, I haven't had any unusual dreams for a while, past couple of weeks. So um, I think the ones that the Lord has sent me is sufficient. I'm always glad when He speaks to me in a dream or a vision of the night. And one of the big things was the war that I saw, which I think the way Europe and Ukraine and Russia are going, it might get bigger because I haven't yet seen play out what I was shown in the dream. So if that makes sense. I still think dreams are, not set in stone. They can be a message from the Lord or from your own multitude of business or from the adversary. So you have to be very discerning and compare it to the scriptures and what would the Lord be showing you. And I've always understood that a very clear dream from the Lord, and just before you wake up, is more likely from Him. But other dreams where it's vague or not understandable or unclear, don't waste your time on it. Just the ones the Lord gives you, you'll know. And so I'm asking everyone for prayers that my doctor will not abandon me at this time, because if he did, it would be, just getting me by for a little bit over a year and 5 months now, I think, 5 or maybe a year and a half. So, and I've really tried to get a doctor in this area, and I just can't get one. So, tough being blackballed when the symptoms say one thing and they tell you something else, and then the very medicine that treats it identifies it as what you say it is, not what they say it is. And then I have a blood test from a foreign country that's an ally of ours, Israel, from a medical hospital there that's like a national certifiable entity. That's tests are as good as any hospital here in the United States. So I can't understand why the United States policy and doctors would not want to see me healed but prefer to see nature take its course and just kill me off. That's what I think that's the part of this healthcare system is preventative care. So anybody who is sick, they're supposed to die off, and we just concentrate on keeping the ones healthy. And that's what's, I think, happening in the medical community. They're not going to heal us any longer, unless you're connected or wealthy enough to pay for it. You're not going to get any good care. That's what I've been experiencing. For all these years, just to ask for a 2-week treatment of intravenous penicillin, you know, could have saved me 25 years of living in a nightmare, health-wise. You guys can't imagine what I've gone through, because policy and medical establishment association, they created an evil policy. They took syphilis, a bacteria that's very healable, and they called it a virus. And they called it something different than syphilis. They're calling it HIV, AIDS, acquired immune deficiency syndrome. Okay, it's not an actual thing that you can, but by the symptoms, it's a green spiral shet bacteria called Tryponium pallidum. But their lie to you is that it's a green monkey disease. They're using all the words that play on massaging your ego to believe what the television has told you, that there is such a thing as HIV, AIDS, which was just propaganda many years ago. The Bible says there's nothing new under the sun. And so when I was 28 and they came at me with this, I was shocked. This is not possible. And I didn't accept it. And through the course of time and events, I discovered the truth, and I pointed it out to the doctors. And whether you have, if there is such a thing as HIV, syphilis, for sure we know exists, you still have to see an infectious disease doctor. So there's no reason for any of these doctors not to help. No reason for them not to help. But why won't they? Because they get caught in a lie. And if they cure me of the syphilis, then HIV goes away, because HIV is syphilis. So there's not going to be any infectious disease doctors that are going to heal me, because they've already killed off many people that they could have healed. And they're not going to provide evidence for their own evil doing. And so the government, through policy, is not allowing people with a healable disease to be healed, because the greater goal is the population of the planet Earth from the, 8 billion people now, down to their 500 million they want. And so no respect for an individual's life or the quality of life. The medicines that I take improve the quality of my life. The penicillin and the doxycycline, the mupirocin ointment, the augmentin, the azithromycin, the Bactroban, the Bactrim, the clotrimazole cream, and fluconazole. They improve the quality of my life. These are oral and 2-hour creams that are so significant to my life, and to try to get a doctor just to provide these medicines for me, nobody will do it. This is unheard of. Here we are in the 21st century, in a leading country in the world, and they're denying me the medicines that will keep me alive, and they're denying me access to a doctor that would help. All I need is a primary care doctor to write the prescriptions, and at some point for a doctor to prescribe the 2-week IV penicillin treatment and see what happens from there. But they won't do it because it shows their culpability of doing what I'm telling you they're doing. They took syphilis and they're calling it HIV. They're making everybody believe that a person with HIV is cursed from God, when uh, or that it's a disease cursed from God, the disease, when actually it's man-made manipulation of a disease to bring about the sterilization of individuals and their death, and to use weaponized syphilis called HIV to carry out a depopulation agenda over a very short period of time, within a generation or two or three. So this is what's going on. And for me to tell you this, you're probably going to laugh. You're probably not going to believe it. But by the same token, I tell you, I got called by the Lord. And ever since I was a small child, I've had the experiences that I have had. One was being stuck in this eye by a stick. I impaled my right eye on a stick when I was bending over looking at the ground, and the stick penetrated my eye, and when it came out of my eye went blind, a white blindness. I prayed to the Lord right there on the spot, and as my eye was healing, a dove appeared, and through the dove, a silhouette of a dove, I could see again. And then when I was older, on the other side of my parents' house, on the other field, 10 o'clock at night, walking down to Keystone College to do my own artwork in my own free time, I saw in the night sky above me the same dove that was in my eye, but this time it was in the night sky, and it was humongous, a golden white fiery dove with other things going on the nights before and that particular night. And then, and if you've heard some of my past videos, I talk more about my testimony. And granted, I erased about 390 videos, so some of you probably never saw some of those and never will. But I have a testimony of being called by the Lord, and that the Lord, I believe, was saying to me that I am his servant, Elijah. And so I often introduce myself as Elijah. And when I tell you my calling in the Lord is very serious, I take everything in the Bible very seriously, and the plan of salvation, and I take my health very seriously. And I'm a trained ceramic fine artist. I can pick up raw materials from the ground and sometimes identify them by touch. And if needed, I could do other laboratory tests to to identify a material and what it might be useful for. And in my uh, life, I've come across that what the medical textbooks say by the symptoms that I have is not what the infectious disease doctors are saying. They It's obvious to me that they've relabeled syphilis, and by calling it HIV, a virus and not a bacteria, they can turn you into a guinea pig. They could actually euthanize you, and by not healing you, and uh, they will sterilize you if they decide to keep you alive. Uh, they'll eventually sterilize you, and they can selectively heal. It's a convenient thing for them to use to call HIV and they see the humans as the virus on the planet. And so HIV, if you acquire syphilis, then it's just nature's way of killing off the overpopulation. And that's why, probably the reason why they're doing it, calling syphilis syphilis a bacteria, now calling it HIV a virus, and then withholding medicines. It's an evil agenda and uncompassionate group of infectious disease doctors who don't value your life. And I have yet to find an infectious disease doctor that will help. So I had a primary doctor that wanted to help, Dr. Zeider, but he retired. And when he was helping, the insurance companies wouldn't pay for the treatment because he wasn't an infectious disease doctor. And I just had a primary care doctor this past year providing 7 particular medicines. And now I think he may not be helping me anymore. I haven't heard from him in a while, and I've asked for a refill on some prescriptions for April. So please, people, please pray for me. I am in a dire situation again, as I was over a year and a half ago, wondering what happens when the medicines run out. And anyway, I'm just watching for the Lord. I hope you're watching for the Lord. I hope you realize that Passover is something that's commanded to do. We do this in remembrance of Him. He commanded us to do it in remembrance of Him. So clean the leaven out of your house. Plan to have a Passover meal. If you were in Israel, you'd stay up all night watching for, the third great Passover. They say there's going to be 3 great Passovers in history. The one was the Exodus with Moses. The second was when the Lord walked on the earth. And the third one is about to happen. He's going to do something that's going to eclipse the coming out of Egypt. The scripture says that He's going to call us from the north and from the south and from the east and from the west. That they won't even remember the Exodus. This next event is going to be greater than the Exodus with Moses. So that's what's, I think, right on the schedule ahead of us in the timeline of possibilities of things coming to pass. The rapture. The rapture, folks. Okay? So despite how much you see going on in the world, keep the blinders on and looking straight forward, pressing on towards the high calling of God in Christ Jesus, keeping your eyes focused on the holy city, the New Jerusalem, not built by man's hands, but whose builder is God. Okay? So this life we're just passing through. This life is fleeting. It's temporary. And you're not to love the world nor the things of the world. The things of the world are enmity with our God. So, a warning to the wise: be ready, for in such an hour as you think not, the Son of Man cometh. The Lord is going to fulfill His promise that He would come again and take us unto Himself. And that is what's so very, very serious. Okay? What's that, Paul Bagley? Are you serious? Right? Are you serious? Yeah, of course I'm serious. I'm serious. And it can never be more serious. I talked to you, people who have been following me for some time now. 2 serious things going on in my life: the coming of the Lord and being called by the Lord, and my health. And and my dogs, right? The aspects of my life, just very simple. So, Doctor, if you hear this video, which I believe you will, please send in the 4 prescription refills. Really, please. Can't get by with those medicines. Until I have a doctor who is helping, you're the only one that's helping, who has been helping. And being blackballed. So anyway, weather's warmed up here. Snow is almost melted off. Next week we're going to have 70 degrees almost. I hear, or I saw it on the news report. So spring is sprung, and whether in 9 days is the rapture, or a second Passover in 39 days, or any of the days before them or after them, we are the generation that is going to see the Lord's return. I can't wait to find out in front of the Lord with those doctors if they are saved. The reason they're going to say about the lies that they said to me, some people that don't know me at all, that could destroy my life when they're supposed to be doctors helping my life. I just don't understand it. The policies, the insurance companies, the government policies, and the power that the government has placed in the medical establishment, infectious disease doctors' hands, is a power that can destroy your life and not heal your life. And that's what I see happening to me. That's why I'm hoping the coming of the Lord is real soon, because my body can't take much more. What's happened over the years is I've had the medicine, the penicillin and the doxycycline. When I got a new doctor, I would go off those medicines to show the doctor how badly I deteriorated, and then I'd start back on those medicines. And they didn't want to hear that those medicines healed me. They didn't want to look at it. They didn't want to acknowledge it. It's like the government is giving them only one way to treat, and that's not to treat. But you can use that person as a guinea pig to try different medicines, but anything but that which would heal and restore life and set that person free on the course away from not having to deal with any doctors or medicines. To be set free from that, they're never going to let it happen. So anyway, coming up to one of my last resorts. I know you think I'm going to sign off and then I keep talking, but I think I'm going to be coming down to one of my last resorts is to do IV treatment on myself. So I do have all the apparatus, materials, and the penicillin to do it. So I've got to do it while I have some oral medicine to do it with, because you're supposed to do the IV treatment with the oral stuff too. So could be doing that within the next month, possibly. It's just waiting to see if the rapture happens where I don't have to do it, and if nothing happens, then got to do it at some point. Just can't go on without the aid of constantly having enough penicillin and doxycycline in my body to combat the constant flow of the bacteria out of my bones. There's a certain volume that is happening where the infection is coming into the flesh and infecting the flesh. But if there's enough of the penicillin in the body, it just kills what's coming into it. And so, could do that forever, I suppose. But the best thing I would say to do is saturate the body with the penicillin, with the IV treatment. Cure me. I remember listening to either the Congress or the Senate talking, and they were like, the one representative was like saying that they should allow people to be healed, for the good of the country. It's like when I heard that, I was shocked, because it came across as like they are allowing people to stay sick and not heal people. So anyway, it could be such a beautiful time in the world, but then you have a few bad agenda-minded people that are just ruining it for everybody else. Dr. Fauci, 2 years, ruins everybody's life on Earth. Can't travel, can't do this, have to wear a mask. I mean, come on, give me a break. And then, and other things, a few bad apples spoils it for everybody else, right? It's like people need to stop buying into what their televisions are telling them. Televisions are propaganda windows. The image of the beast. You plop yourself down at the image of the beast at the worship hour, the world news worship hour, and you do whatever they tell you to do. But you won't plop yourself down in front of the Bible and do what it tells you to do. The Bible tells you keep the Passover, Seder, Passover meal. You prepare for Passover in a particular way. If you were in Egypt with Moses, you would have taken a lamb into your house and lived with it for 3 days and then slaughtered it and put its blood on the doorpost and lintel of your house. So the death angel would pass over your firstborn. All he requires of us today is to have the Passover Seder meal and do it in remembrance of him, because it really became a marriage proposal. Take this cup and drink it. He broke this bread. His body is broken. Take it and eat it. Right? It's a marriage proposal. What he did, he took a commemoration of the Passover in ancient Egypt, and he turned it into a marriage proposal. And the promise of his coming back is like, if you're studying the scriptures, it's so obvious. If you know the Lord, his Spirit is talking to you, telling you, be ready, be ready. So I'm encouraging you all, be ready. Don't put off doing something good that you can do, which is prepare the house for Passover and have the Passover Seder, and watch for the Lord. The night of the thief, they say, is the night of the Passover meal. So where I am on earth in Eastern Standard Time Zone, we're 7 hours behind Israel. So when it's sunrise and sunset in Israel on Passover, you can sure bet I'll be watching for the Lord right where I'm at. It's like I think it's about noon our time when it's sunset in Israel, and it's about 11:30 our time PM when it's sunrise in Israel. So you have to check it out for yourself to get the exact time, but to give you an idea, at just about the top of the hour, whether it's AM or PM, is a high watch time from where I am on the earth, which is the convenient time because usually I'm up, So I fully expect the Lord to come, and I'm certainly probably one of the most persons in the whole world hoping for him to come because of the condition of my own health. If he doesn't come and I don't get help, then I just might end up passing before his return. But of course, the next thing I know, I'll be returning with him because anyway, so say a prayer, everyone, that you be counted worthy to be taken in the rapture, that you be ready when it happens, that you don't look back like Lot's wife. If a door opens for you when the Lord comes, or he sends, however it happens, he sends forth his angels and gathers us, changes us, go, and put your trust in the Lord that he will take care of anybody else who's been left behind to go through the tribulation. I believe that's all about bringing people to Christ too. Shalom, Betty. Finally, someone joined. I was wondering if anybody was going to pop on. So just when you're coming on, I was about to get off. So anyway, I just gave an update about Passover and getting ready for Passover and a little bit about my health. So with that, it's almost 20 after 7 p.m. here. So thank you for joining me. If you wouldn't mind liking my video and sharing it, so the algorithms might allow my video to be shown more places. And if I ever get enough subscribers and views, I might get monetized. Maybe I can earn an income a little bit by it, but that's a very high goal to shoot for. So Betty, it looks like you're going to be doing a Seder. That's good. So I wonder if do you meet with a bunch of other people when you do your Seder? Or it's just a family thing? For me this year, it's just going to be me and my friend here. So my whole synagogue, a lot of them are in Virginia, so probably the main Seder will happen there at the rabbis. So I won't be able to get down to Virginia to join. But I would have liked to have. But having dogs, it's not so easy to leave. So peace be unto you, for the kingdom of heaven has come near unto thee. I am your fellow servant, disciple of Jesus Christ, who's watching for the Lord. I encourage you to have faith. Faith is gold to God, and that's what he's looking for. And trust in his plan of salvation. Don't try to create a God in your own image to be worshipped the way you think that God should be worshipped. The God of Israel has provided his word that tells us how he wants us to worship him. We worship him in community, with our mind, spirit, strength, and soul all concentrated on his word in community. We keep the Sabbath days and the holy days, which are his festivals, which are Sabbath days. Those are part of the way you serve him, is by worshiping him the way he wants to be worshipped, and not trying to create a God in your own image to worship the way you think you should worship. That's idolatry. It's very clear in the Holy Scriptures how the God of Israel, how he wants to be served, and he's written out his word for you. So be doers of the word and not only hearers of the word. That's my encouragement. Keep the Passover and be ready with your wedding garments on, ready to go. Because, when he comes, we're instantly going to be with a lot of other people, right? We're all going to be taken, however many of us who are ready that he's coming for. God willing, he would have us all on the earth be going, but not all have come to faith, sadly. There's many billions of people that have non-biblical belief systems in their minds, and sadly, we have failed collectively and individually as disciples of Jesus Christ by not reaching all the world. But by the same token, people have the right to choose what they want to believe. So we can only plant seeds and water seeds, and really God himself draws people to himself. So With that, I'm going to sign off. I love you all. Oh, Betty writes, we're doing it at a church. Messianic from Brooklyn will be doing it with us. That's cool. So I don't know where you are, Betty, but I don't know if you're in Brooklyn or just a person from Brooklyn is coming to wherever you are, but that's cool. Real exciting. So phone's ringing. Just YouTube notification. Yep. So I'm still here. I'm still hanging on, and I hope you all are staying positive and being loving. He said that they would know that we are his disciples if we have love one for another, to love the Lord our God with all our heart, mind, strength, and spirit, and to love each other. So do the best you can in loving. Sometimes it's really hard. Some people are not so lovable, but the Lord will give you grace for every situation. Oh, you're in Connecticut. Nice. Just was through Connecticut once many, many years ago. It's a small state. It's really not too dissimilar from northeastern Pennsylvania. Similar kind of houses. But Connecticut was a lot of small ones, real cute ones. Anyway, I'm going to sign off, everyone. Every one of you, Betty. Just one on here. Okay, I love you all, and we might be days away from the end of this fallen flesh life to a new reality. Who knows what it's going to be like? But anyway, Lord willing, we won't have much longer to wait. And, shalom and aloha.